come in.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Casey.
Hi, Casey. I'm Bailey. How are you doing?
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Good. All right. So I see that you are applying for our PRN, patient care technician position. Basically, PRN just means as needed. So we're looking for someone that has a lot of flexibility in their schedule. That way you can help out. Okay.
Okay.
Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's life like right now for you?
I'm currently a nursing student at Tarleton State University, and we just started our senior year. I'm a mother to a 6-year-old, so that's why I'm applying for the night position.
Yes.
Yeah, everything's busy right now. I'm just trying to get my foot in the door and gain some more experience outside of clinicals in school. So that's why I
Very good.
answered your ad.
Yeah, no, we love nursing students here. We always want to help y'all be able to learn and get experience, and if you ever have any questions, just feel free to ask. But that's awesome, you know, it seems like you're driven and very interested in the nursing profession, so that'll be good.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna go through some questions with you just for the interview process. Take as much time as you need, and you know, if there's multiple scenarios in your head that you feel or experiences you've had that would apply, just answer them as you'd like, okay?
Okay.
All right, describe a time when you had to use time management in order to prioritize tasks needing to be done. This can be related to previous jobs, school, or something that happened in your life.
Okay, off the top of my head, I'm currently a server. Their scheduling is flexible with my schooling and everything that's going on, so I'm a server in town, and that has everything to do with time management.
For sure.
Whenever customers come in to the point of the greeting, when to take the order, when to get their food out. Repeat the question again?
Describe a time when you had to use time management in order to prioritize tasks needing to be done.
Okay, so the example I would say for that is, of course, all the customers in the restaurant, we have this, we call it flagging. So if somebody comes in, we introduce ourselves, we put a napkin down on the table to show everybody that they have been greeted. So if we have new customers there, and then we have a couple over here that are currently eating, or another one over here that they're ready to pay their check, I'm gonna approach the person that hasn't been helped yet, because the other people have either they're already eating, they're satisfied to some degree,
Right.
whereas the person that hasn't been greeted by us yet, or by me yet, they would take priority. So to make sure everybody gets the service that they deserve in a timely fashion, that's kind of.
So you use kind of like a step-by-step process to prioritize, and then meeting people's needs, adjust your time management.
Unless there's a table that needs to leave quicker than
Right.
others, and they state that, then I'll try to move them before, you know, somebody that might still be eating as I walk by and maybe check on them. But the whole process is full of managing time.
No, it's funny how similar all job fields are, because waitressing and serving in a sense is very similar to nursing in that same aspect. So you're having to rotate patients, discharge people. Some people have been met, introduced for the night, needs met, some people haven't. So
Yeah.
very similar. Very good. All right, what factors did you consider when choosing what task had the most priority? You kind of already answered that question for me, talking about you have a little system with the whole napkin thing to know that
Right.
people have been met and introduced and greeted, so that's good. That's actually a really good point I wanted to make. Here at the hospital, we do the board system, so whenever you go into a patient room, kind of like your little napkin trick, you introduce yourself, write your name on the board, you can kind of check and see what details you need to know about that patient. For instance, how they ambulate, if they can get up with just you, by themselves, if you need to get someone for help. So it's kind of like our boards are our napkin.
And I have seen that in our clinicals during
Right.
school, so.
All right, next, what were the consequences of choosing to carry out your priority tasks? They could be good or bad. Did you stumble upon complications when finishing your priority task in a timely manner? How did doing the task in the order you chose affect you?
So that's kind of up to the customer in my current job, because you can't please everyone all the time. So there are complications sometimes if they feel like they're not getting the fast service, or they're just impatient. I mean, you can't win them all. I try to be as nice as possible. I am as nice as possible, and if it gets any further to where they're upset for any reason, which I can't recall a time that somebody's been too upset that I've had to retrieve a manager for anything, but I would approach it as asking them what the issue is, and then try to take it from there to where they're completely satisfied. And if I can't make that right, then I would go to a higher up to help make that right. So,
which there's nothing wrong with that. That's very good. You don't need to always try to handle everything yourself. You can go get help, especially someone that may be a little bit more experienced or know the right verbiage to use to diffuse a situation. So based on what I'm just clarifying what you said, with the consequences that you deal with on a daily basis, it really is how it affects your customers. With what you're choosing to do, it can affect their moods, causing some to get impatient or feel like they're not being paid attention to as much as others. And that's why you try to just address their feelings.
Right, and that's why our management does tell us come get them, because we don't want to reflect poorly, on the restaurant. We don't want a bad experience for them to go out and, if by word of mouth or via a keyboard on Yelp or something like that, we want to write something that they believe is wrong. So,
right, very good. All right. Tell me about a time when you were faced with a challenge or issue from within your own team of coworkers. This could be relating to having to delegate or tell someone what needs to be done, giving them a task to do, working as a team, so your role within that team, job responsibilities, just anything that comes to mind.
Okay.
And I can say it again. Tell me about a time when you were faced with a challenge or issue from within your own team of coworkers.
I can't think of anything in the restaurant, but I can think of a time in class, and in our simulations when we do our sim labs for clinical hours. We are paired with fellow nursing students to carry out a scenario that we're given in this particular class. I was the primary nurse in the situation. So with the group, we talk about what we're gonna do. We delegate kind of beforehand, what we're gonna say, what we're gonna do, and then we go in and we complete our sim as our instructors are watching us through a camera in a different room. And this one particular time I was the primary nurse, and we were carrying out everything that we had talked about, and one of the other students, for whatever reason, kind of questioned and challenged everything that I said and did during the simulation, and it caused a little bit of friction. I could definitely tell it shifted the simulation. So after that, we finished our simulation. After that, I was heated more than I think he was. I don't think that he meant to challenge me in the way that I felt challenged. So it took a minute to process that, talk about the sim afterwards, but I did go up to him later and apologize for kind of snapping at him under my breath. But I felt like I needed to not take it as personal, cool off a minute, go approach him and apologize for being a little snappy, and then he was able to tell me why he asked the questions that he asked even afterwards. And so he was just trying to get something right where I felt like he was challenging me.
Right.
He was just processing in his own way.
Right.
So we did have the respect for one another to come to each other after the simulation to kind of, put out that fire. And it's fine. We're still friends today.
Good.
We kind of laugh about it now, but that's what I could think of off the
It can
top of my
happen.
head.
Yeah, we're all different individuals. We all have our own processes and ways of thinking, and sometimes, it can be misstrued and confused about is this a challenge or is this just they think differently than me and don't understand what's going on. But as from what I took from that, you approached it based on, you took a step back and were mindful about how you yourself were feeling in that situation, and you looked at it from his perspective, and you don't know if it was, he was also feeling that way, so you went up to him out of your own character and
I
apologized.
definitely
Right.
didn't want any ill emotions. We were going to be working alongside of each other for the rest of our, for our school career at least, you know, and it would have been unnecessary to be awkward towards one
Right.
another throughout the rest of it. And in doing that, he was able to give his side where, you know, I didn't see it then. So
Mhm.
communication is
Yes.
important, and yeah.
Do you feel that the action you took as an individual in that experience had a positive outcome and had a
Oh,
positive change for the
absolutely.
team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think even once, you know, after we did that and everybody else was able to see that I say everybody else, there was about 2 or 3 other students that, you know, they witnessed all of it. And so for him and I to come out on the other side as, you know, as grown-ups, as adults that could, you know, what am I trying to say? To hit that head on, get it taken care of, and then move on so that we could continue. Anyway.
Okay. Describe the steps you've taken to determine a person or patient's needs and expectations. You did kind of answer that, talking about the napkin thing, how you have certain steps to know if someone's been taken care of, but if there is maybe something that happened in clinical experience or somewhere else in your life where you had to take certain steps to know what if someone needed something and any expectations you had to achieve through that.
Say the question again?
Describe the steps you've taken to determine a person or patient's needs and expectations.
That's another one that I would say, I can't think of something specific right now, but I'm very much a get straight to the point type person. So I would just ask somebody what they needed. If I feel as though I'm a very open person, a genuine person, I don't come at people aggressively, or I think I'm easily approachable. So if I can make the person feel, whoever it may be, somebody at my work or a patient, if I can make them feel comfortable upon meeting them, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make them realize that I'm there for them, that this is, I'm here to do a job, but I'm also there to be a sounding board for them, that they can be open with me if they need to be. Not intimidating. I'm not there just to perform a task. I'm there to give somebody 100% of what they may want or need from whatever the task might be at hand. So
That's very good. I like that. Yeah, it seems like you're more about providing and maintaining an open environment, just something welcoming, that way that they feel comfortable enough to come to you.
yeah,
You don't have to necessarily badger them and get stuff out of them.
Right, the
It's just-
relationship is really
Right.
important. I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that, to be the customer in the restaurant, to be the patient in the hospital. You know, I know it, I can put myself in their shoes and know how I would want to be treated, or how, you know, you always remember what that saying is. You always remember how someone makes you feel. So I'm all about that.
That's really good. We pride ourselves in providing a good experience for our patients, because we want our patients to remember our faces and who we were as a staff, but also as people caring for them and, you know, being with them in the time that they're here. So I like to hear that. All right, the last one. What things let you know that you've been successful in meeting expectations for someone's needs? So what feedback do they give you that you notice that helps you feel like you've accomplished something for them?
Well, kind of adding on to with the previous question, you know, their feedback, you know, what they say back to me when they compliment the service at my current job. I know when I've done everything that I can and in my power. You know, I don't need to hear that feedback when I know that I've given my all and 100%. And like I said earlier in the interview, You can't please them all. But if I know within myself that I did everything I could and I feel like I did everything properly and out of a heart of compassion and duty, that, and their responses might not be, if their response is negative, I don't take that personal.
Mhm.
I mean, I may have to process it for a minute, but, I generally get good feedback, and I know that's just kind of like that icing on the cake, because I'm not okay with not giving my all in something, so when I know I've done that, their feedback, positive feedback is just, like I said, that's just extra, so.
All right. Well, I have everything answered that I needed. Is there anything else you'd like me to know about you or to write down about you?
I don't know, I just really thank you for giving me this opportunity, I appreciate your time.
Of course, yeah. Well, I have your contact information and I have your resume and cover letter, so I will be probably notifying you within the next 3 days about it, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thanks.